A live chat with lots of dogs in a bar on a sunny day in the Philippines, in Dumaguete. Drinking far too early, but I've been forced into it by a brownout. There is no one there. This could be the shortest live chat I ever do. There must be someone out there, surely. Surely. I'm losing my touch. Not that I ever had it, but where are you? Where are you, people? Where are you? No one on the internet wants to talk to poor old Uncle Simon. Oh well. Oh, we have one. Who is there? Speak now, or forever hold your peace. We have one. But you might have just popped in here by accident. Or are you a viewer of the channel? Global Greg. Hey man, how are you, Greg? Welcome on board, mate. It's just me and you. A very intimate live chat today. How are things in your world, mate? I'm just going to lean down a second out of camera shot to change my snooze. Because nobody wants to see that. Doing well, sir. Hope you are too. I am, sir. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Apart from the burnout. But you learn to live with those things over here. But yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. I'm glad things are good with you. I've forgotten, Greg. Where in the world are you, mate? Yeah, where the hell is everyone? That's a good question. Well, I'm in Sideways, and it is approaching 11 o'clock in the morning. So I think you kind of caught them in betweens, because if I'd come in a couple of hours earlier, you'd have had the breakfast crowd. In another hour or so, you'll get the afternoon drinkers, and then you get the evening crowd. So I've kind of come in the middle. Global Greg, currently in Michigan, United States. Well, greetings. But I'll tell you what, I'm very happy with you, chaps. There's 2 of you here, and I've got 2 likes. That's a very high percentage rate. Often I'll have a few hundred people come in and only get like 15, 20 likes, which makes me sad. So thanks, chaps. 2 people, 2 likes. What more could I want? I travel full time in a camper van. Yeah, now I remember it. Yes, I remember you now, mate. Yes, I remember you now. Yeah. Sorry. Trouble is, as soon as you said that, I know you are. But there are so many names, and I'm awful with names, that I think I know who that chap is. But if I say it and I get it wrong, then it's going to be embarrassing for it. It's going to make me look stupid. So I always try and keep my powder dry and think, I do know who that is, but I will. So thank you. You clarified it for me. We have 6 here. That's a good little number, a round number. 6 people, but only 2 likes. But hey, got to give them some time, and they might not like it. Who else is here? It's not just me and Global. I know there is 5 other people in the... what do you call it? Do you call it a room and a live chat? Do you call it in the chamber, in the sphere? What do we call the people? I'm not very good with this. I'm not up to date. I'm an old man. I don't really understand the tech. Global Greg again. I'm the same way. Better at remembering beautiful women's names though. Yeah, I think you're right. I am too. Yeah, I think we all are. I'm good with faces. I used to think. Used to be good with faces. Could never remember names. But I have lost track of a number of times over the last year. People will start talking to me and they know my name, and I think they know me from the channel, and then it will turn out we've met at some stage and I've got no recollection whatsoever, and it's very hard to pretend you do. Yeah, so it's starting to worry me, that, because if you're forgetting things, if you've forgotten it, you don't know what you've forgotten, do you? You know what I mean? So it's like, I met a guy the other week up in Valencia a couple of months ago, in actual fact. And he said, hello Simon, he said, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And I thought I'd met him through the channel. And then he said something else. And he said, well, the last time I saw you was in Sikihor. And I was like, we met in Sikihor? He's like, yeah. I said, where did we meet then? And he said, we met in the Get Wrecked bar. And I would have sworn I'd never been in that bar. You know, it's like, it's a strange one. Anyway. Yeah. No, you're right, Greg. You don't forget a beautiful woman's name. or her scent. That makes me sound like a pervert, doesn't it? I shouldn't have said that. But I do think so. Some women, beautiful perfume, that sticks in your mind. So we have 9 now. We are on a roll. Like ham and cheese, we're on a roll. Chris Taylor, what are you drinking, Simon? I'm on the San Miguel Light. Don't usually drink this early, but there was a brown out, and I came in to do some shopping, and I got about an hour before the power comes back on. It's supposed to come at 12 o'clock, so I thought, why not come in, have a cheeky beer with some of my virtual friends. Are you a San Miguel Light fan, Chris? Adam gets it done. Back on channel, brother. Changed my YouTube chain. More of what represents me best. How's life treating you? So is that you, Adam Fenton? Is that you, Adam Fenton? Which Adam are you? I know a few Adams. That's confused me with the name change. But that's a good one. Adam gets things done. Chris Taylor, Red Horse, mate. Yeah. I prefer Red Horse, to be honest with you, in terms of flavour, because I don't think when I first got it, I couldn't drink San Miguel Light. I had 2 or 3 of those, and I just got gas, and I didn't like it. Didn't taste of anything. And I don't particularly like the Pilsen. I prefer the Red Horse because it has a taste to it. But the reality is, you know, I've only popped in here. I'm going to go home after this. I can have a couple of San Miguel Lights, and I'm fine. A couple of Red Horse, I want to go to sleep. It's too strong, and you're on the scooter. But I get where you're coming from. It is a nice drink. If I'm in the house, as you know, I don't really drink Red Horse much, but I don't blame you for drinking it. Oh, Adam Gets It Done was Adam's Amazing World, right? I remember you now, mate. I remember you now. Yeah, sorry, there's 3 Adams that are regularly on the channel. So I thought for a second you were Adam Fenton, but no, I know who you are now, brother. It's a good name, Adam Gets It Done. That is a good name. Chris Taylor, I like your voice. You sound like Frankie Dettori. I sound nothing like Frankie Dettori. Frankie Dettori sounds like an Italian. But there you go. Maybe it's the microphone, maybe it's your device. If I had a couple more beers, I would break into a Frankie Dettori impression. But this is my first one. And probably my only one, so I'm not going to. Global Greg. Gotta say, I know you caught some flack for that video about leaving for Thailand, but I thought it was brilliant. Your acting was superb. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I did get a little bit of flack for it, but not much. I brought on more subscribers than I lost, because I lost 5 in the first, like, half an hour. And I thought, oh, well, there you go. Some people don't take a joke. But I think it brought about 30 on. I did well on the views. So, I mean, it was a bit of fun. I'm glad you appreciated it. And nothing I said in there was a lie. Everything I said was true. I get a lot of flack for that regular guy video I did the other day now, which I don't care. It's water for duck's back. But again, nothing I said in there wasn't true. I didn't say he was cancelled. I said, is he going to be cancelled? Because he was the first channel I thought of when they said what they were cutting down. But I got a message last night, you're spreading rumours about regular guy. And I thought, no, I might have done a bit of clickbait. I put him in the title, but I never spread any rumours. I didn't say he was. I just said, I know him. I've interviewed him. I wouldn't say we're friends, but, you know, I've spent time with him. So when I read the new vlogging laws, I thought, is that the end of his channel? Anyway, I'm not going to defend myself, but that's the way I look at it. Chris Taylor, Royal Ascot races on a few weeks ago. A bit sad with no Elizabeth there. Never been to Ascot. Used to go to Cheltenham. I'm not a horse racing fan, but we used to do the Gold Cup for about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years in a row. We used to rent a cottage. A load of friends of mine. When I left and I moved to Leicester, was one of the guys, because I used to have a season ticket at West Ham, the guys we sat with, one of my friend's dad, it was his birthday. So we said, let's go to Cheltenham because he loves his horse racing. And we had such a good time, we decided to do it every year. Because it's a good way to keep in touch, because I wasn't living down in London anymore. So we like kind of moved, around and did. I've just got a message come up. Terrible thing is when messages come up, it distracts me. But anyway, yeah. So I've never been to Royal Ascot. Not really a racing fan, but I did enjoy Cheltenham. It was a good. It was a good few days. Global Greg, I saw Scotty put out a video about rumours he was leaving or deported. Haven't watched it yet though, so I don't know if he was talking about your video specifically. No, I saw that, and I wondered. I didn't watch it either. You know, it's not. At the end of the day, the way I look at something like that, when I last looked, he had about 5,000 views. And I know Scott is in it for the money. I know what he makes because we talked about it. He's in it purely for the money because he doesn't want to go back and teach in South Korea. So as far as I'm concerned, I've done him a favour. You know, if it was me, because he got a lot more views for that. And I don't know what he got. I didn't watch it, so he probably got super chats and all sorts of things. So I mean, he's probably made money out of it. Well, I know he will have made money out of it. So, and as I say, I did not spread any rumours. I said straight away, you know, I hope he hasn't. He isn't. I never said he was. I asked the question because he was the only channel who goes around, you know, taking pictures of, you know, doing like, you know, the kind of stuff they banned that I know, that I ever really watch. I don't really watch any of the others. So first of all, I thought about him, and I thought, does that mean his channel's dead? I say never spread a rumour, never said he'd been demonetised, never said any of that. And I said, I think within a couple of minutes of the video, I'm not digging him out. I like him. I've got no problem with Scott. It's just when I saw that, the first channel I thought of was, is that the end of Scott's channel? And I stand by it. I've just had a message from an old friend, I think it was an old friend, saying, have I seen the new vlogging laws about the Philippines? I'm disappointed he's asking me that. I thought he'd still watch the channel. I think it was Paul, you know, from the old beach bums that we used to do many moons ago. That means he's not watching my channel. That's heartbreaking. Because he know I'd covered it. We've got 16 people in here and they've only got 5 likes. That means that there are 14 people who are not enjoying it, or they're holding back before they rack the likes up. And I've only got 3 people talking to me. Chris Taylor, Global Greg, and Adam Gets It Done. And now they've stopped talking to me. I often think I should talk less on the live streams. I should be more considered. Because sometimes when I watch it back, I'm blah, 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 blah. But if I don't say anything, you're just going to have... And that's no good for anyone, is it? Oh, I think my prompting worked. I've got a 6 like. There we go. If I can get the 15 likes, I'll have another beer. I'm just going to check one thing out here, because I'm just going to put my phone on, ignore me for a second, because sometimes the comments freeze on here. So I've got my other little phone. If I watch on here, in case the comments are frozen, I could get up to speed. It wasn't Paul, it was Lawrence. Anyway, there we go. Right, regular guy is okay, Chris Taylor. Farkutal, what bar are you in? I'm in Sideways Bar on the Jose Romero Road in Dumaguete. If you're in Dumaguete, come here. It's one of the best bars. I think to me it's the bar I spend most of my time in. I'm not saying come here to see me, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm in Sideways. Regular guy is okay. Yeah, he's okay. Look, he's an unusual fish, Scott, but I like him. I mean, I don't know the guy. We went out for coffee once. I met him in a coffee shop, and then I met him a day later, and we did the video and that. But we chatted for a couple of hours. I mean, I don't know him. He's not a friend or whatever, but I liked him. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I know he's a bit Marmite in the sense that a lot of people in the comments were negative. But then again, when you've got a channel as big as his, and he's done incredibly well in his numbers, then you're going to get a lot of haters, aren't you? I mean, I don't have a very big channel, so I don't have as many haters. I wish I had as many haters as him, because that would mean my channel was doing a lot better. Global Greg, the reaction to the new vlogging rules seems a bit hysterical to me. they could change it back next week, and it's not that hard to blur faces and editing software, sir. Yeah, well, it's not that. It's not that. In the sense, you're right, it is easy to blur. You've got a function on YouTube. You can go, when you upload a video, you can put the blur function on. But it's a bit bigger than that. It's why they're doing it, and it's how they're going to enforce it, because they're not new laws. These laws have been in place for a while. It was new guidelines, it was a new directive. It was suggesting that they were going to push it. And the point is, they will only push it if you get complaints. So from someone like, let's talk about Scott again, it would damage his channel, because the kind of people that want to watch his channel aren't going to want to watch blurred faces. I mean, it doesn't look the same. And if you can't stop and talk to people like he does, then it will affect his channel. He will have to change his content. It won't affect mine in the sense that that's not what I do. I'm not comfortable walking up to people and engaging and putting the... I do very few vlogs. So in that sense, it won't damage me, hopefully. But the point is why they're doing it, because they could interpret it in such a way as they don't like your content and you're saying potentially things that they think are negative about the Philippines, which I don't do. I speak honestly. I say what I think is good and bad. But some people could interpret my honesty as being negative. And the point is, if they determine that, they could use the laws against you. You get what I'm saying? So it's given them the carte blanche to the tools to act as they want. So basically, if they don't like a channel, they can get it. And potentially the fines and things could be big, but they've already said it can affect your visas. So you've got to be incredibly careful now. Being honest could potentially, if enforced, get you deported. Hopefully it's a storm in a teacup. I mean, there were a lot of people said in the comments, there's some Russian guy, there are some channels apparently which are really close to the mark, which they seem to think these were the kind of channels they were focusing on, and it would be better if those channels were put out of business. I don't know, I've never watched those channels. I watch very few vlogging channels. And obviously they didn't do the laws for me, because I'm a tiny channel. But it's the way it works in the Philippines is the fact they got the guidelines, that they are now armed, although they always were, to take channels out they don't like. I mean, that's basically the way I'm looking at it. Oh, we've got a lot of comments now. Adam, get it done. I've been researching a lot on the Philippines. Never been there for my first trip yet. Found out the laws are quite different regarding if in a relationship with a Filipina who has a child from... Continue. Frankly, Brian. Hi, Simon. Scotty did a live from Duma last night. How about having a beer with him? Well, he has my phone number. I won't chase Scott, and he might be upset with me about that last video, I don't know, so no, I'm not going to contact him. But someone asked that a while ago. As far as I'm concerned, I contacted Scott a while ago. I asked him to do an interview, and he was kind enough to do it, so we did it. And I wouldn't feel comfortable pressing him again. If he asked me, yeah, I'd be up for it, of course I would. It would be good. Get a new audience. He has massive numbers, but I'm not gonna like. I don't. It's like regular guy, not regular guy. Like there was a lot of people who were helpful for me when I first started the channel. Paul Old Dog, Mark Thornton. But I don't want to push it. Once you ask someone once, I won't ask again. You know what I mean? It's. I mean, I did a few interviews with Mark and he interviewed me because he wanted to. He was always looking for people to interview. So I interviewed him twice. He interviewed me 3 times. So that's what I'm saying to you. If Scott was to say to me, do you want to do it? I'll do it, but I'm not going to ask him to do it, because at the end of the day, it would feel like begging, because he'd be doing me a favour, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing him a favour. Global Greg, true about it affecting Scotty. I don't watch much of that type of content, and yes, I can see trolls using it to really hurt people depending on enforcement. Chris Taylor, I don't think it will affect most bloggers. It's just some of bloggers who are a bit rude culturally to the Philippines people. Well, you're assuming that. And if that is what they do, then power to them. But as I say, it's like, you know, you've got to think about these things, because they're talking about some bloggers have to register all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I had it when we go to Thailand in a couple of weeks of Ellen, if they start asking questions about our relationship, etc., I can say, well, look, we're together. Here's the channel. You can see when we moved in, we live in a house together and all that. But then I start thinking there are certain videos I've said what's bad about the Philippines and things, and they might see that and think, right, sod him. He's not, he's saying negative things. It might be, you know what I'm saying? It's how they're going to do it. But hopefully, listen, I overthink things, and I'm not really overthinking this. I'm only talking about it because you chaps are asking me. But it is a little bit of a worry. Chris Taylor, I don't anyway, just read that. Adam continued, previous relationship, that a man could be held responsible for the child even after breakup. Have you heard or witnessed this? LOL. And definitely makes a man think. Yeah, look, there are a lot of laws over here which are very strange. But there's strange laws in every country, old laws and things. Theoretically, the husband, if you're having an affair with a married woman here, not an affair, they could have been split up for years, and the husband's gone away, and she could be basically have been single. You get in a relationship, he can kill you legally over here under certain circumstances. You could get charged with adultery. It's a criminal offence here. You can go do time for it. There's lots of laws here. I'm not going to go into some of the other ones. Have I ever heard anyone get done for it? No. I know some people over here, and I'm not encouraging this or saying it's a good thing, who have done some things which you're amazed they're not in prison for, let alone not being deported, and nothing has happened to them. It's like when that idiot over there tried to kill me. Police weren't interested. The laws are there, but it's unless someone, it seems in the Philippines, unless someone really pushes it, they've got to have a complaint, and they won't, just because you get attacked or something happens, police aren't going to get involved unless you go and get a lawyer and force us. It's a strange place like that. I really wouldn't worry, mate. I really wouldn't worry about that kind of thing. Now, I never got into the phone last time. I'm going to keep going because I'm worried again that the comments are frozen. Adam gets it done. Good advice and info, thank you. Yeah, well, I say, don't quote me on that if you do get arrested. But I've never heard of that. And there's a lot of channels when I first, you can put your come in here because they worry about this and they worry about that. I still am anal about wearing my helmet driving around the city because I want to break the rules, and also I don't want to get brain damage and have an accident. But people drive around without helmets, without licences. I got stopped by the police. If you watch the channel, I had a fake driving licence. I didn't know it was fake at the time, but it was a fake driving licence. And all the copper said was, I think your driving licence is fake. I'm not sure. Go to the LTO and find out. If that's the UK or a Western country, they'd have thrown the book at you. You'd potentially gone to prison for it, forged documents. So it's a strange country like that. And I'm glad it's like that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't want to live in a police state. But that's why it's worrying about these new rules, because I'm in now. I better turn the volume down. I'll be able to see the comments on this. Right. I'm getting adverts. I didn't know I got adverts on live streams. There you go. $20 people now. It was up to 26 a few minutes ago, and I've only got 9 likes. What do I have to do to get more likes? Would you like me to do a dance? Sing a song? I'm not going to, I'm just asking. It may float your boat, but that's not me. Hey, I just gave myself a floating heart. I didn't know I could do that. Cookie, good morning, Simon. Good morning, Cookie. How's it going, mate? What is the word on the street where you are? Chris Taylor. Barangay, local law in the Philippines, is more enforcing debts on local Filipino people. They really don't give a shit about odd foreigners unless in their face. Yeah, I agree, Chris. It's in many ways. Got careful what I'm saying now in the vlog. It's a lawless place. It is. I say, I'm not going to go into names because the people I know here, but I've heard stories about some people who are here now. Some of the crap they've got themselves involved in, or some of the shit they pulled, even though some of them declare themselves as innocent, and nothing has happened. Nothing. You know, extraordinary stories. Yeah, blow your mind, mate. I tell you, but I'm not going to go into details for obvious reasons. Adam gets it done. LOL, dude, you crack up and crack me up. Well, there you go. I try to have fun. Now I'm looking at it on my phone. People have got lots of symbols. They've got crowns and +2s and crowns and 3. I don't know what any of this means. I'll have to look into it. 13 likes. Remember, if I get to 20 likes, I'm going to order myself another beer. Is it possible? Mind you, I said that the other night in the live stream. I said I'm going to have another cocktail if I get to 25 likes. And I was on about, I don't know, 21 or 22, and people started taking the likes away. How low is that? It went from 22 to 21 to 19. So I go, you're not going to beat me. I had another cocktail anyway. My big decision now, though, is if I do have another beer, I will end up having a cooked breakfast, I think. Cooked breakfast here is very good. It's my favourite meal outside. Oh, mind you, the chili dog is quite... I had the chili dog the other night, and the chili dog is good here too. Frankly, Brian, did you see that Cliff Richard visited Wimbledon yesterday? Apparently, when Sue Barker dated him, she went through all the tournaments unseeded. Boom, 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 boom. That's a very good joke, mate. Very good joke. When I started to read it, I thought this is going to be a joke, isn't it? Yes, I don't think he's into women, is he? Although, didn't he sue a few people for suggesting that? Global Greg, do you think the Philippines is changing fast with regard to fewer women being interested in older foreigners? I don't know, because I've only been here 2 years, but they never really were here. You know, I'm sure they were many moons ago, probably like they were in Thailand. But no, your average Filipino woman, in my experience here, does not dream about meeting a Western guy. Some do. They tend to be, you know, the ones who are really after you tend to be the ones who are single with 2 or 3 kids and that. You know, that's just my experience from the dating apps. But don't get me wrong, it is a very easy place to meet women. It's a lot easier than the West. But I don't think that's because you are, per se, a Westerner. I think it's because you're viewed as having money. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's like in the West, isn't it? I mean, I've often said, if I was unemployed and living in a 1-bedroom bedsit, and I look like I do now, I would get less dates and less women interested in me than if I was earning a couple of £100,000 a year and driving a Ferrari. That is just life. But the idea that, you know, Filipino women are obsessed with Western men, and maybe at one stage, and maybe in the more, you know, the poorer areas or what, but no, not here. I mean, it's easy to go out and... Put it this way, you are attractive here, in the sense that, well, of course you are, because I'm 53 years old and I'm meeting women who are, I could meet women, you know, 20, 21, 22, you know, so yeah, it is, but it's not to the extent that you might be led to believe. Because when you're hearing these older guys who are like in their 70s and 80s and they're coming over here and they've got women, they're after them for one thing. I mean, let's face it, it's financial security. They do not dream of growing up and meeting a guy that age and settling down with them. But anyway, there you go. That's my take on it. Adam gets it done. Good info, Chris Taylor. I watch a few videos where they interview college-age girls, and very rarely do they say they would date someone more than a few years older. Yeah, well, I think it depends where you watch. I mean, I think it depends on the area as well, because Dumaguete, I think, is quite saturated with expats. But there's not as many as you think. I mean, there's only 5 million foreigners in the Philippines at any one time, and the population is 116 million. So I think in Dumaguete, it's 3%, or is it 2% are, you know, foreign nationals that live here. So it's not like overrun. But I noticed when I first got here, not many women showed interest in me, which is a surprise, because in Thailand, you got a lot more interest. Because Thai women do I mean, because they're Buddhists, they're more into one-night stands and that kind of thing, and they like the idea. It's a bit like Brazil of having, you know, relationships with, you know, just getting it on with Western guys. They like the blue eyes or that kind of thing. But here, because it's a conservative place and they're Catholics and there's more of a stigma, they're not so in your face. But if you go out and have a few drinks and start talking to Filipinos, you know, they'll always be receptive. So, I mean, it's easy to meet women here, but don't expect them to come running up to you. But as I say, that is Dumagetti. Sigil was a lot harder. Easy to be friends with women there. Because it was such a small community, you went out for a date with someone, the whole thing knew about it. I'd say, like, if I sneezed in my apartment, they'd say, bless you in the rum bar, which was 2 kilometres away, because word spread so quick on that island. So that was a difficult place to, say, play the field if that's what you wanted to do. But when I went to Cebu with Ellen, there were 2 or 3 times I went out by myself, just walking around doing a bit of a vlog with a camera, and I was amazed how many smiles I'm getting and like hello and all this kind of stuff, a lot more than here. So I think it depends, you know, where you are, you know, different cities, different attitudes. But in answer to what you were saying, Global Greg, I was quite surprised. Many moons ago I watched, I think there's a guy called Living in Asia or something, I can't remember what his channel was called, and he asked a load of girls around a Cebu shopping mall whether they'd date a Westerner. A few said no, some said yes. They were all about 20, 21, 23. He said, what would be the ideal age? And they all said around 50. And I'm thinking, I don't get that. Why 50? And the point is, he might have interviewed 100 people and only shown those ones. But when I spoke to Ellen about it, she seemed to think that, because when I went out on dates, when I was on Tinder, I'd always say to girls, like, because I would never contact anyone who was below 30. I let them make the first move, and quite a lot did. So I thought, well, if they've made the first move, I'm not doing anything wrong going on a date. I haven't chased them. And I'd say, and the reality seems to be, they think when you're around the 50 age mark, that you're less likely to play around, you're more responsible, you're not as immature, you're more financially stable, you're probably able to have children, and you'll be around for some of their life. So I think that's why. I think a lot of them seem to think that, particularly Filipino guys, I'm not saying it's true, that under 30, they're far more likely to play around, drink too much, be irresponsible, etc., etc. And they think the same with Western men. You know, they may find the younger guys more attractive physically, but a lot of Filipinos aren't looking for that. They're looking for a long-term relationship, and they don't see them necessarily as being a good bet. Just my take on it. It may be wrong. When I spoke about this in a video before, I got lots of young guys getting very upset about it and getting very angry, and I think that's proved my point. They're immature. You know, I'm just expressing an opinion. If someone makes a video of some young guy saying, and there's loads of them out, they're not interested in guys my age and that, I just look at water off a duck's back, because I'm more mature. And they can say what they like, I don't care. The wisdom of old age, that's what I call it. Trip in the Philippines, catch up for a chat in 2 weeks, mate. Back in Duma, mid-July. Well, that would be nice, mate, that would be nice. You might catch me before we go to the Philippines, before we go to Thailand. If not, catch you when I get back. Tracy W. Sue Fisher. Come on, you irons. Morning, mate, from a very hot and sticky, I can't read the Portofino. Where's Portofino? Where is Portofino? I was about to say you're up late, but of course you're not in the UK, are you? You're in Portofino. Where's that? $17 likes. Remember, I've got to get 25. I can order another beer. I'm going to start getting dry soon. Get those likes up. Come on. Be kind to an old man. There's always a delay when I ask for comments on it. I'm stuck on what is that, Sean? Is this baseball? I was saying to someone the other day, I have never watched a baseball game in my life. I should try, because I quite like, well, I love cricket. And I know it's a very different sport, but I can't get into American football. No desire in watching that. No desire in baseball. Hate baseball. Sorry, basketball. Don't like hockey. Never tried baseball. It's a bit like rounders, but there you go. The comments have stopped, dried up. You're leaving me hanging, chaps. Who else have we got? We've got 25 people there, and only a few of you are talking. But that's all right. Maybe you prefer to watch. But we're on 18 likes. Ken McCorkin, 17 likes now. Hello, Ken. How you doing, mate? How is life in Oz? Adam gets it done. Do you like fishing? No. This is going to make me sound really livid and soft. I used to really like fishing. I was in course fishing when I was a kid, and then when I joined the Air Force, my first posting was down a place called Mountbatten. It was a little island in Plymouth Hoe, and I did a lot of fishing then. I really got into sea fishing. But we went to, I got into scuba diving many months after that. We started going on scuba diving holidays, and I got to really like fish. And we were on a scuba diving trip one day, and the idea was you fish for your lunch, and you put your nets down, and you're bringing these tiny little fish that were too small. You shouldn't usually be putting them back, and they were cooking them, and that put me off it. I decided fishing was cruel. I know if you like your fishing, fair play to you. I'm not saying it is. I admit I'm being soft, but no, I don't think I'd fish again. But I used to love it, but no, not for me. And it's quite hard here as well. I mean, if I was to fish here, I've seen a few people doing this beach casting, and I was never that good at beach casting. You have the gear in it. I mean, you could fish off the pier, I suppose. But nah, I did fishing in Thailand when we were up in the mountains, but that was for dinner. You know what I mean? So I didn't mind doing that because you were going to eat the fish. But for fun to do it and put them back, nah, not for me these days. Mike Ball, regarding your stay in Sigley Hall at Stella's, I realise it was not on the beach, but exactly how long was the walk to the beach? As is there any kind of nightlife or karaoke in the immediate area? I don't drink, but I still enjoy getting out. Beach. You're not far from the beach. See, the thing about Sigley Hall is doesn't really have beaches. I mean, it depends what you call the beach. The main beach, so you'll be Stella's is in Métis. Most of the action is in San Juan, in terms of the bars and things. But it spreads down to Palaton. So if you're down in Palaton, you've got Palaton Beach, which is the beautiful white beach. But once you get past Palaton, and you go like 5 or 6 kilometres, there are little bits of beach which you could get to if you wanted to. But the trouble with Sigley is that you literally, once you get past Palaton, you walk maybe 100 metres of beach, and then you've got like rocks and things, and you have to wade out in the water to get past them again. So what I liked about Stella's was when I was there, although a lot of the people have left now, the owner's a really nice guy. I really got friendly with the staff and that there. You know, it was on my birthday, they came to a party, they made me a cake and all that. You know, I really like the people there. And it is quiet there. But you're not far from the action. I mean, it's about, I don't know, 2 kilometres, but I like to walk to the bar I used to drink in. I mean, if you really want to be close to, say, Palaton Beach, for example, then you want to get a hotel down in Palaton. If you want to be closer to the bars and that, I'd suggest you probably want to stay in San Juan. But the trouble is, I mean, the thing about Sigley is I've not been there for a while. I've not been back there in over about 16 months now. And when I was there was about 42 bars. But only a few of them were busy. Most of them were dead. So all the action tended to be around San Juan, because the El Cafe was always busy, and so was the Rum Bar. Most of the ones on Palaton were dead, apart from certain nights. Shell's Cafe Shell's Rock had a techno party on a Wednesday, I think it was. There was another, what was that place called where they had the neon party? Anyway, so there was more action in San Juan. But as I say, that was 16 months ago. Some of the bars could easily have taken off down in Palaton. Palaton might be a more party place now, I don't know, mate. Sorry if that's not as helpful as you would like it to be, but I can't really tell you more than that. Robert Bone, do you like drinking? Yes, it's essential. If I didn't drink, I'd die. But you mean alcohol? Yes, I do like to have a drink. But I'm a social drinker. I only ever drink when I'm on live streams or I go out. Don't drink in the house when I'm by myself or with Eleanor. Zella's not a drinker. So when I go out, yes, I do like to have a drink. I don't enjoy a meal if I don't have a drink with it when I go out. But when I'm not out, then I don't drink. I'm a coffee man at home. Kev D, have you done Boracay? No, never been Boracay. Never been to Boracay. Not been many places. I've been here, I've been to Sikki Hall, I've been to Cebu City, I've been to Malbo in Cebu, and I've been to Oslo. And that's it. I'm very cold here in New South Wales. -4 most mornings. Yeah, I've got a mate called George. He's been back to Australia for 3 months. He was in Melbourne, and he was saying he was freezing. He got back a couple of days ago. I was talking at the bowling, and he was saying like he was freezing around his mouth when he went out, and his trousers from here weren't warm enough, so he'd had to get trousers with fleece and that inside them. I had no idea. He said it wasn't that cold. He said like minus what you were saying, but it was the wind chill. And I was amazed. I had no idea that Australia got that cold. So there you go, shows what I know. Cliff in the Philippines, Rounders, LOL. Oh my God, haven't heard that in years. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's like Rounders, isn't it? You know, I mean, when I was in the Gulf in the Air Force, we did I was in a place called Al-Kaj. I did 2 tours there, which wasn't far from Riyadh, and it was mainly an American base. And we had about 250 Air Force there. And there was some French as well. And we used to do like these combined games, and we'd play them at football, or they call it soccer. And we'd play them at, what other games did we play them at? Anyway, we played them at baseball, softball one game. And we thought it'd just be like Rounders. But my God, they were fast. They threw that ball. God, they gave us a right hiding at that. I mean, we stuffed them at darts, and I don't know what else we played. We stuffed them at darts. And I thought, I don't think we played rugby. I think we were gonna play rugby, but it was too sandy. You could. Oh no, we played them at beach volleyball. Without blowing my own trumpet, I'm damn good at beach volleyball. Don't know why. It was just a game for me. I'd never played till I got over there, but we had a little station team going after a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, anyway, I liked it. I enjoyed that game. No one could touch us. Foreign Legion, because there was French Foreign Legion, they couldn't touch us. We hammered the Americans, hammered the Marines. We had a damn good volleyball team. Italy, mate. 5:34 a.m. here. So yeah, early fella. Oh, Italy, nice one, mate. Nice one. I not spent a lot of time in Italy. Went there a couple of times as a kid. Went to was it Rimini? And we went to Lake Garda once as a child. I don't know why I never went back there. Because when I was married to my ex-wife, we did a lot of weekends. We do Paris, we do Brussels, Prague. You know, we'd always go for weekend breaks. But we never went to Italy. I don't know why. Never been to Rome. So, actually, I tell you a lie. I've been to Venice as well. Didn't like Venice. Went on a trip from when we stayed in Rimini. But that was as a kid. That was with my parents. But no, I should try it. I like Italian food. I like wine. What's there not to like? Don't know why I haven't. Anyway, enjoy, mate. Enjoy. Overrated Boracay. Not worth the time going out of your way to go. Yeah, well, there were a couple of guys the other day who were saying, let's do a road trip up to Boracay. And we'd had a few beers, and I was well up for it. But then the next time I thought about it, I thought, nah, it was I looked on the map, it's like 600 kilometres. It may still happen. It'd be okay for a vlog, but long way to drive on a scooter. And I'm not really, I'm with you, mate. Not really for my thing. This time the live streams, the way I can have a beer with you, usually start 7, 8 in the morning here. Well, that's what we'll do from now on. Oh, Ken, mate, you didn't have to do that. Thank you very much. That is very much appreciated, mate. I will have a beer on you. Thank you, mate. That's, I've never had a donation in Aussie dollars before. Thanks, Ken, mate. Totally unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Thank you. Kev D, thanks. I'm leaving UK next Wednesday and thinking of slow travel rather than retiring in one place. Starting in Thailand. Where would you recommend in the Philippines would have good food and a beach? I don't know. For a holiday, I mean, I can't. This is the thing I'm saying to you, chaps. I like Sikki Hall in terms of the people are so friendly there. It was like, you know, but not to live. You could do a lot worse, in my humble opinion, than go to Sikki Hall. But I have not been to Bohol. I have not been to Boracay. I have not been to Palawan. And they're supposed to be fantastic, some people say. So you don't. I'm not the right person to ask. If you're talking about Thailand, I could give you advice, but I can only talk to you about the places that I've been to. And if it was me, I'd say don't go. Based on my experiences, I won't go to Mobile. I've been there twice now. Not for me. I only went there because you can drive there, so it's like not too far from here. Yeah, I won't go to Oslo either. Oslo was dead as a ghost town. Yeah, so I've only been to 3 beach resorts, and don't come to Dumagetti. I mean, come to Dumagetti if I'd have a beer with you, but don't come here on holiday. It's not a holiday place. So yeah, of the 3 beach tourist places I've been to, Sikihor was by far the best, but there's over 7,000 islands in the Philippines. So I mean, as I say, there's probably much better places than I've been to. Above it all, good evening. Good evening, above it all. What time is it where you are? You're in the States, aren't you? Robert Bone, would it be possible to have a look at the barkeep? What's the barkeep? If you tell me what the barkeep is, I will try and make it happen, because the owner's just sat next to me here. But I don't know what the barkeep is. Ken McCullen, looks like a good sort. What behind? Well, thanks again for that, Ken, mate. It was very generous of you, mate. Above it all, it's our Independence Day, 4th of July. The fireworks are going off, mortars and everything else. So lots of booms. Oh, of course it is, yeah, because you're a day behind us, aren't you? Yeah, that's why I'm here, really. Ellen's had to take a couple of days off work because of the 4th of July, because she phones America and does political studies and things. Of course, everyone's on a holiday. I remember when I was living in Vegas, I went out one 4th of July. I was staying I used to live in the Trump Hotel, which was opposite I lived there. I was there for a few months, and I went down to the bar on 4th of July, and the guy who was working behind the bar said, "Hey sir, how you doing?" He always called me sir, even though he knew my name. And he said, "Are you having a great 4th of July?" And I said, "Well, I didn't know it was the 4th of July. It slipped my mind." And he said, "How do you guys celebrate that in the UK?" And I said, "Well, we don't celebrate it in the UK." I said, "How does it compare, 4th of July here to a 4th of July in the UK?" I said, "We don't celebrate it." He said, "Why do you not celebrate the 4th of July in the UK?" I thought, do you know why they celebrate? You know what I mean? He thought the whole world celebrated the 4th of July. Anyway, there you go. It's an American thing, for obvious reasons. Kev D, great heads up, thank you. You're welcome, my friends. The bartender, oh, I can't do that. Not with these new vlogging laws. Good lord. Mind you, I don't think Rose would mind, but she's a feisty one. She is. Global Greg, haha, he wants to look at the girl behind the bar. See, I could do that, but someone might be setting me up. I could go over there, and they're both lovely girls. Well, Rose is more woman, she's 40 something, I think. And Marjorie. But yeah, what if there's a troll watching? What if there's a troll watching and they make a complaint and they say this guy was showing off Filipino women? You know what I mean? That's what you've got to think about these days. When I order a beer, I'll see if they want to say hello. I can do that for you. Boracay was bliss 25 years ago, Tracy. Really? Well, by the fact you're saying it was bliss 25 years ago, does that mean you've been since and you think it's gone downhill? I say never been, but a lot of people will say that about Sikihor. It used to be fantastic, now it's not. But again, I don't know. I was never there when it was quiet. Although other people say Sikihor's fantastic now because there's stuff to do. Apparently, years ago, I mean, the old dog Paul McGill was telling me there was nothing. There was only one bar on the whole of the island. So it's like, you know, you went, you enjoyed the beach, you went to bed at 8 o'clock. Ken McCullen, barkeep is the bartender, old bean. Well, there you go. You see, I live and learn. I thought you meant the barkeep, the selection of spirits or something like that. Ricky travels 4th of July for a country that's turning into a dictatorship. No comment. I don't want to upset any of our American brothers. Above it all, yeah, I was actually just talking about 4th of the Philippines. It's still a holiday in the Philippines, but it was actually their Independence Day as well, 1946, when they got their independence. Yeah, but they've changed it. It's not the 4th of July anymore. It's not a holiday here. They've changed it to, I think it's a date of the revolution or something. They do have an Independence Day here, but it's not been the 4th of July for quite a while now. I did that as a quiz question a couple of months ago. I can't remember what it is now, but it's not that long ago they changed it, but the 4th of July is not a holiday in the Philippines anymore. Yeah, above it all, we've just said it, yeah. They changed their Independence Day to recognise their independence from Spain rather than the United States in 1962. So that's one they actually celebrate. Yeah, June 4th, that's it, June 4th, yeah, no. Trip in the Philippines, yes, Simon, it's cold in New South Wales, Australia. It's actually snowing about 4 hours away from where I live at the moment. So can't wait to get back there again. I reckon it's colder than North Wales. Wow. It amazes me that it's, that Australia can get cold. It just amazes me, that. Because you always just think of it as being scorching hot outback, and what do you call them, Aborigines doing walkabout, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there you go, you live and learn. But as George was saying, it's like 4,000, 6,000 kilometres or whatever from the north to the south, so you've got huge temperature. It's like when I was in America. I know I'm changing subject now. We drove from Las Vegas to Key West, me and my wife, over like a week, and it was amazing because we saw the seasons change. It was snowing, believe it or not, when we left Vegas. Not heavily, but just a little bit of snow, and we went through, from the snow to the leaves turning red to tropical heating thing. It was amazing to do a drive out and just see the seasons as you go through. Robert Bone, thank you very much, brother. That is very, very much appreciated, mate. I will be having a beer on you and Ken. Thank you, mate. It's unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, I will do that. Marjorie, could I have another beer, please? I will see what I can do now. All tours and destinations in the Philippines are the same as any type of success. You'll see 10 other bars, stores will pop up next to it. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. It is what it is. This is Marjorie.
Sorry.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. There you go, Robert Bone. There you go. I did my best. It's actually very nice, very friendly girl, very helpful, very polite, and actually very clever. When I do the quiz night here, they cash up. My computer's here, and they're behind the till, and you're like kind of working together. And she's very quick. Some of them have to use a calculator and things, but she's like straight away, this is wrong, that's wrong, this wrong, and like she's only young, she's like 19 or 20 or whatever, but she runs the bar in terms of like, very clever girl. As bright as a button. Well, I changed the rule, didn't I? I said I wouldn't buy a beer until 25 likes, but I haven't bought a beer because Ken and Robert bought it for me, so I haven't broken my word. Thanks, chaps. Cheers. Robert, hello. Thanks, Simon. There you go. Yeah, that is Marjorie. They're all nice. The staff here are great. They're a nice bunch. And they've been here a while. That's one of the good things about this bar as well. You get to know the staff. A lot of bars here, a lot of restaurants here, the turnover is so quick. People leave and they go and they come here or whatever. So you get to know a few people in a place and you go back next week, they've gone. And it's new people and they're always going. But here, very low turnover. It's the same people, which is good. Global 23 likes, almost there. Oh, they can keep the likes now. It was 25 likes to get a beer. I'm only joking. Don't keep your likes. Share them. Share the love. Right. It's amazing how I can drink San Miguel now, I tell you, because I did not like it when I first got here. It used to make me feel ill. I remember I went to, I'm ashamed to say it, Why Not, which is the local, it's a nightclub which doesn't have a very good reputation for a lot of expats. But I got here, I didn't know any better. I've not been there in a long time. But I went in there one night because I was by myself. I was single and I was living in Sibilan, and it was not a lot going on down there. So I went out and I thought, right, I'm going to party, I'm going to make the most of it. Because I wasn't happy here the first month. I hadn't found City Hill. And I thought, I'm not going to, you know, sod it. I'm not going to be bored. I'm going to go out and do stuff. And I'm going down there one night thinking, right, I'm going to get on it. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to meet some people. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I had like 4 San Miguel lights. And my God, I was full of gas. I felt lousy. I had to knock it on the edge and go on to Red Horse. I went on the shorts or something like that. But I thought, it's not for me. And I avoided it for about 6 or 7 months. But now, I can knock it down all day. The body has become tolerant. So, Greg, how long have you been doing quiz nights? Thinking that's something I'd like to get into. I don't know. It was something I fell into. My old mate Frank used to do the music quiz at Sideways, not Sideways, the Kingswick Hotel where I used to go a lot, so I was good friends with the manager there. And I used to really enjoy the quiz. I'd never done quiz before, never got involved in it. And then I met a guy there who I used to team up with there, and he said, come down to Sideways and try the quiz here. It's a general knowledge one instead of a music one. So I went down, I quite like that. But then Frankie left. And the music quiz, don't get me wrong, the bar staff there are great girls, but they took it over, and it was obviously going to die a death because they didn't have a clue what they were doing, because they didn't know what Western guys of a certain age and music that I liked and all the rest of it. So the first time they did it was a disaster, and a few people said they weren't going to come back again, and then the next week there was even less. And I enjoyed doing the quiz, so I didn't want it to die a death. So I just said to them, look, you know, if you want me to do it, I'll take it over. And I didn't want anything for it, but I took it over and turned it around, and it was a success, and they did start looking after me. And then a few weeks after that, I was down here, and Ewan asked me if I'd take this one over, because the guy was doing it, so I ended up taking this over. And then I had a few places asking me to do it, a few bars here, but I don't want to do it anymore, it's too much work. But in answer to your question, that's a long way of saying it. I don't know. Got to be about 16 months now. I think I started doing it about 2 months after we got here. So quite a long time. Time's flown by. Quite a long time. I don't know why it was so long, but that's the thing. Wait a minute. What? Ken, mate, come on. Thank you. Listen. That is very generous, mate. You're embarrassing me now. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, mate. But you didn't have to do that. You don't be thirsty. Have a beer. I'd like to buy you one. When are you coming over here, Ken? It's December, isn't it? You're coming over. We will have a beer then, mate. You made my day now. You have fun. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate that. Yeah. What time is it there, Ken? It's about the same time of day, isn't it? You must have a few. What do you call them? Tinnies in the fridge. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. You must have. What do you drink over there? What do you drink there, Ken? Because I know it's wrong, but many moons ago I always had the idea that everyone over there drank Castlemaine 4X because of the the old Paul Hogan adverts. And I can't remember, but I said that to someone a few months ago, an Australian guy, and he was like, no one drinks 4X. And he mentioned a load of drinks I'd never bloody heard of. And what do you American guys drink? Ken, I will have a drink, LOL. Okay, Billy, VB beer. Is that in, that's in Australia, is it? Okay, Billy, VB beer. Never heard of it. Are you an insular lot over there then? I mean, in the sense that you drink your own local stuff, do you? Because I mean, in the UK, I drink Stella and Kronenbourg. I mean, I don't drink, they're Belgian and French. Or are they both Belgian? I quite like Leffe. There tend to be Belgian beers in England these days, I drink. I arrived December 23rd, I'm drinking VB VX 6%. 6%? Really? That's the same as this then. This is 6%. Doesn't seem it. That's the thing of Red Horse. Red Horse is 7%. So it's only 1% stronger than this, but it hits you. And the thing about Red Horse, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a health warning here now, guys. I know it doesn't make any sense, but when you buy Red Horse, here, you get the little bottles, which I think they call a Stallion. You get the 500 milliliter bottles, or you can get the 1 litre Grandes. And if you look on the labels, it says they're the same strength. But you ask any Filipino, any expat over here, they'll tell you the smaller ones are considerably stronger than the 1 litres. Because when I first got here, I started on the 500s, and I found after 3 500s, I was half cut. So I stopped on them, because I thought, 3 beers is going to do, I can drink, it's not going to bother me. But then a couple of months after that, I was over in Sikyo, and I'd moved on to the Grandes. I noticed one day I'm sitting there, and I'd drunk like 3 Grandes, and I didn't feel, and I said to my mate Paul, so I got worried, mate, my drink tolerance is getting too much, I'm an alcoholic. A few weeks ago I could only drink a couple of 500s, now I can drink 3 litres without even touching the sides. And the barman, a mate of mine, Migo, said, yeah, they're not as strong as the small ones, the Stallions. I said, yeah, they are, what are you talking about? They're both 7%. And he said, okay. He said, well, you try it. And then Paul said, well, why don't you try the Stallions, the little ones? And I'm not joking, 4 of the little Stallions, my God, I was feeling it. And he's like, it takes 4 of them to make a litre, so it's a strange thing over here. Don't believe what it says on the label when it comes to the Red Horse. Robert Bone, Coors Light for me, USA. Yeah, listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking America, I like America, I've been to 27 states. I spent a lot of time in Vegas with your channel. Not a fan of your beer, chaps. I like the foods, a lot of I like about America. I do not like the beer, I must admit. I tried a few, I don't think I've tried the Coors, but yeah, I've tried the Coors Light, the Budweiser, just not. I might like it now, because it had a reaction to me, not dissimilar to San Miguel Light. So I got used to San Miguel Light, maybe I can get used to Coors, maybe I'll get used to Budweiser. But when I was living in Vegas, I did say to a couple of the bar staff, I remember this guy who was the waiter in the Luxor. I was there one night, and he was a good waiter. I was chatting with him at the bar, and I was drinking Stella. And I said, what is the best American beer to try? Because I'm not a fan of thingy. And he said, don't try any. They're no good. Stick to the European beers. You're much better. And I said, it's not a very patriotic thing to say. He said, no, but it's true. He said, ask any bartender. And I asked a few over the week, like, what would you recommend? And there were a couple who said, try some of the craft beers. And I must admit, I tell a lie, I went to a wedding in Key West about 3 years ago. A mate of mine got married there. And we went to a couple of the microbreweries and we tried some of the microbrewery stuff, and that was nice. But the mainstream stuff, Bud Light's bloody awful, in my humble opinion. Victoria Bitters was, this is Global Greg, was popular when I was in Oz. At least I think that's what it was. Ken bought it 1:58 PM here. So you're an hour ahead of us, eh? What time are we on here now? No, you're 2 hours ahead. I didn't realise that. How many time zones have you got in Oz, mate? Because I thought you were more or less the same. Have you got one time zone, or have you got more than one? Robert Bone, did you mention Stella? We have that here. Excellent beer. Yeah, Stella. Stella Artois. Or if I'm drinking back in the UK in a bar, and I'm drinking lager, I'll have Stella or Kronenberg. They're my 2 favourites. Sometimes I can never pronounce it right. Lefty. I like that, the cloudy one. But sometimes in the UK I'll drink bitter sometimes. I mean, I mix with, I like Guinness. If I go back to the UK next time I go back, I'll probably have a few Guinness to start off with, because I miss Guinness. Can't really get it over here. I don't think there's anywhere that does it draft. I had a couple of cans on St Patrick's Day when I was over in Sigil, and I realised then how much I liked it. But I can't drink more than a couple of pints of Guinness because it gets too heavy. But I miss that. Io, do you like San Miguel apples or lemon? Yeah, it sobers me up, because it's only, was it 3% or whatever? But yeah, if I'm doing the quiz or something, because sometimes people buy me beers when I'm doing the quiz, and you think you've had too much to drink, you know what I mean? Because you don't do it intentionally, you think, right, I'm only going to have like whatever I'm going to have, and then someone say, here's a thing just bought you beer, and they give it or whatever. And if I think I've had too much, I'll have a San Miguel lemon or an apple, because they sober me up straight away. You feel fine after you've had an apple or a lemon. I think I prefer the lemon. There's lychee as well, isn't there? Yeah, lemon's my favourite. Yeah, from time to time, that's what Ellen drinks. So Ellen will often go out. She cannot drink. And when I say she cannot drink, I mean she cannot drink as in anything. Like she cannot drink a bottle of water. She'll have like a couple of sips, and that's it. When she asks for a glass of water, she'll fill it up to there. She drank a whole bottle of something. She'll be like, "Oh, I feel so full." So she always, when we go out, she doesn't get a milkshake, or she can finish them surprisingly enough. Though she'll order a lemon or an apple. When it's time to go, I'll have had 4 or 5 beers. She'll be halfway through that, and she'll say, "Oh, please finish that." She doesn't like to leave it, so I'll end up finishing it for her. But yeah, she can't drink, as in terms of the volume, not the drink. She likes Baileys though. She'll drink that, but then that's a small measurement, isn't it? Global Greg, lots of great beers here in the US, but not the big brands. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Someone said it the other day, there's lots of smaller ones, you know, the small independent breweries. Chemical, 3 time zones, really? Wow. I'm surprised by that. I'd put that in the quiz, but the trouble is there's a couple of Australian guys who play every week, because that's a good one. Which country's got the most time zones, and how many time zones does China have? Because China's only got 1. Because of the shape, and that always people think this is like a lot more. And can't remember how many France has got, but it's got the most in the world because it's got the time zones in parts of South America and Africa and all the rest. I think it's got 13 time zones. Anyway, a bit of trivial for you. Gerald Lynch, welcome Gerald. The only mainstream beer in America better than Cow's Piss is Sam Adams. I think I've had Sam Adams. I don't remember it as being particularly good, but I don't remember it as being bad either. We used to go to the boxing a lot. That's how I started going to Vegas. We used to go and watch a lot of the big fights. Been to see some incredible fights in Vegas. And one of the worst things about the fights was you'd get in there and you'd order beers and you'd get like the big, like, I don't know if they're pint glasses or half a litre or whatever they are. No, they'd be pint when it was America. And it would be like, you know, Bud Light or cool, something like that, and by the end of it you don't feel like you're drinking alcohol. You'd be like, God, you feel so bloated and no real effect from it. Ken McCart now, 26 likes, that's another free beer, just saying mate. Oh no, I'm enjoying myself now. I was only going to do a short one, but oh no, I'll have another beer. I'll probably do the full 2 hours on it now. There we go, Frank and Brian deleted his message, so I don't know what that means. Did he misspell something, or did he say something and you thought, I better not say that? I'm always intrigued when people cancel their message. Robert Bone, have you had Modelo Mexican beer? Very good with lime. No, doesn't ring a bell. Don't think I have. What do you chaps feel about tequila? I'll tell you why I asked that in a second. 27 likes, wee, rock and roll. Robert Bone, Bud and Bud Light suck. I agree, brother. Awful drinks. But they might be different in different countries. I had a friend who drank Bud, but he'd drink it out of the bottle in England, Alan, and he liked it. But it's just like, I'm saying about the strengths, it's weird. I'd occasionally drink Heineken in the UK. Wouldn't buy it, but you know, sometimes you go to a party or whatever, and it's like Heineken's the beer of choice. Didn't mind it. But I lived in Tilburg for a number of years, or I worked there. I didn't actually ever live there, but I was working there sometimes 4 days a week at a place to stay there. So I was spending a lot of time. If you put it together, I probably spent close to 2 years, if you put it all together, in Tilburg. A lot of time that was in hotels. And I'd go down and I'd order the Heineken there, or Amstel, and you'd get it in the big jugs. And I'd find after 3 of those, it had a much stronger effect on you than the cans do in the UK. Don't know if it's a stronger one over there, but it's weird, isn't it? You know, the same drink in different countries can be very different. Global Greg, get him talking about beer, and now he wants to stay 2 hours. No, I'm not going to stay 2 hours. I was only staying here because of the brown out's gone now, so I thought I'd kill a bit of time, talk to some people, but when the beer flows, you start enjoying yourself. And there are people, I mean, when the old views drop down, numbers drop down, I will go off. Well said, Greg. Frankly, Brian, Heineken is the world's most exported beer, supposedly. Is it? Do you know who the world's biggest exporter of rum is? Do you know who the world's most popular whiskey is? Anyway, no one asked about the tequila. The reason I'm asking about the tequila, when I was living in Vegas, I had a friend, a guy who had a tequila bar. And I went there many nights with him. He was a great guy, American guy. And I like whiskey. I don't really drink shorts, but if I'm going to drink a short, I'll drink whiskey. And I tend to like the smoky ones. But the thing I like about whiskey is you can taste. You can tell a good whiskey from a bad whiskey. It's like wine. You can tell a good wine. I love red wine. Well, I've not drunk it in years. I've never drunk red wine over here. But in his tequila bar, he had some tequilas that were like £200-300. Well, that's not pounds, dollars. Like $50, $100 a shot. And a few times I left you drinks and try one of these, like, because they were on him. I'd never paid that money for a fucking tequila. I could not tell the difference with tequila. You could give me a $5 tequila and a $100 tequila, and I can't tell the difference. Like vodka, you know, it's vodka's vodka to me. But it could be Grey Goose, or it could be get a bottle of vodka over here for like 150 pesos. Can't tell the difference. I don't know why anyone would pay that. But I suppose some people can tell the difference, but I don't know. Anthony Carrillo, tequila makes me black out, not a good thing. Last time I woke up in a UCLA Med-Center ER, missed my flight to the Philippines and had to reschedule a very expensive lesson. Well, that's not good if that happens. Yeah, but how much did you drink? Sure, you could do that with any spirit, couldn't you? But yeah, tequila. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, if someone I like the bar and someone doesn't want a shot or whatever, they want to get the lemon out, the tequila and the salt. But I always think if it's that good, nice to drink, why do you need salt and lemon? A lime rather. You wouldn't do that with whiskey, would you? I've never understood why they do that with tequila. It's like a bit like the old balut over here. They say it's a delicacy. Bloody awful. It just tastes like a rubber egg to me. But you think, well, maybe it's an acquired taste. But they put this vinegar on it, and always said they do anything to disguise the flavour. So how can it be a delicacy? You wouldn't do that with a Western delicacy, would you? You would savour the flavour. You wouldn't cover it in vinegar and all like stuff to mask it. I don't know, strange thing. Frankie Bryan, rum, Cuba. No, it's the Philippines. It is Tanduay. Tanduay is the biggest biggest exporter and producer of rum in the world. Surprised me, just something I put in the quiz one week. I'm a big fan of imperial stouts, but alcohol content is usually so high they are dangerous. Imperial stouts. I don't know what imperial stout is. I know what stouts are. I like a nice stout and a porter, but what does that mean? Imperial? Is that the style of the drink? Presumably, is that like a British Irish thing or whatever? Imperial? I don't know what that is. Robert Bowe, Jose Silva. That's a tequila, isn't it? Is that the expensive one or? Chemical. I say, mate, the minx behind the bar is a good-looking Sheila. Well, I'm assuming you mean Marjorie, because Rose is of an age, and maybe you like an older woman, or a more mature woman, shall we say. Go on, West Ham. Do you do the Lewis Holyfield fight in Vegas 98? We had about 100 West Ham over there. That was a great weekend. Yes, I did, but I didn't go with West Ham. I went with a load of Air Force mates, but yes, I did. Yes, I did. That was my first big fight in Vegas. But the thing is, after that, when I got the security company, we went over for my birthday one year, and we went over to watch, because my birthday's in December, and we went over to watch the music started. We went over to watch the I can't remember, like Hatton and Mayweather fight, which was fucking brilliant. And the quietest time in Vegas, we didn't know until we found out then, was between the week of my birthday, because it gets busy up until then it stops, and then not many people go because they come down for New Year, so it was a quiet period. and they were blown away by how many fans, because he brought like 30,000 over for the Hatton Mayweather fight, and it was brilliant. And I wasn't really into Big Hatton, wasn't my kind of fighter. I mean, he wasn't from the south. I mean, I used to follow Ben. I even followed Watson for a while. But anyway, we digress now. I'm thinking back to the Lennox Lewis Holyfield fight. But anyway, yeah. So we got talking to people on that, and Al knew someone over there because he used to be a crew there. Anyway, he knew a guy over there, and he was saying they're gonna put boxing on. They might do that again. They might get another English fight over here around Christmas time. So we booked it again the next year, and just booked it anyway before the price went out and the fight was announced. And I can't remember who that fight was. My memory's bloody awful. Was it Hatton Malaji? Anyway, the point is, we had a good run for about 3 or 4 years. We went over every December. We had it booked already before the thing would get there, just waiting to see who the fight was going to be announced. It was going to be, and we just knew it would be great, and we were there, and we'd pay a fraction of the price because the flight tickets would go up once the fight was announced, all the rest of it, and we had a good run. And the thing that screwed it up, I'm thinking of Kawasaki against Hopkins, but we didn't go. That wasn't a Christmas. Because that was the Thomas Mack Centre. I went to see that, but that wasn't the Christmas one. I don't think. Was that one of the Christmas fights we saw, or my birthday fights? Anyway, cut long story short, they got Amir Khan, and he fought in the Mirage. And of course, they didn't have any alcohol. They don't drink, do they? So I had all these Muslim fans. I don't know anything against Muslims. I'm not making a knock of it. But of course, they came over. He bought an entourage, but they didn't drink. They didn't gamble. The casinos didn't make any money, and that was it. That was the end of it. The following year, they didn't have a British fighter, and I don't think they've done it again since. But I've never liked Amir Khan because of that. I remember watching that fight. Who was it? Who did he fight? Was it Pereira? He won. My memory's awful. But anyway, there you go. But yeah, they made it. If they'd got someone else instead of Khan, I'd probably still be going at December now, because it was a long run of it. Adam gets it done. I live in the town in Tennessee, right next to the world's most famous moonshiner, Popcorn Sutton lived, guys. He drove a Model 2 around. I used to see him out of town driving it. Most famous moonshiner, Popcorn Sutton. So that's like illegal booze, is it? There we go. That's a good name, isn't it? Popcorn Sutton. I'm trying to think, what's that film about moonshine? With Thomas Hardy. Good film. They're the brothers. He Can't Be Killed. Shia LaBeouf was in it. It's a good film. I can't remember what it's called. What's that bloody film called? That's a good film, that is. Imperial Stout, Global Greg, Imperial Stout is pretty much just a very strong stout here in the US. They often age in whiskey barrels, 12 to 13%. Alcohol is common, as they taste so good, in my opinion, dangerous. Wow, that is strong, 12 to 13%. Yeah, I've never drunk a beer that strong, or stout that strong. Ken McCulloch, indeed, Greg. Also very expensive, which helps me not to drink too much, LOL. Yeah, no, that is too strong for me. I wouldn't touch that. That's wine strength, isn't it? Mate, there's some beer, I did that for the quiz. No, there's some beer they make in Scotland. It's the strongest beer in the world, and I think that's like 65% or something like that. That's expensive, a bottle, but I bet it tastes god awful. How can you have a beer that's 65%? You lived in the States, correct. What other states did you visit? I've been to 27 states. Don't ask me to go through them all. Basically, I was only in Vegas 6 months, but every weekend for like a few months, we would like go for a long drive. So it's basically nearly all the states around Vegas, over to Florida and that. Never went higher than Chicago. Never been up to, I've never been to New York or whatever, but been to nearly all the southern states. See, I'm terrible when I start thinking about it. I'll get there. But you know, yeah, you know, Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky. I can't think of the names of the place. Anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, basically, all around there, California, New Mexico, Florida, Arizona. I don't know. I used to keep account of it, but never been like north, all the southern states and the states around the middle. Where did you drive to? I know when we went to. We drove, when we were into Key West, we drove up to Albuquerque and then we crossed over because we'll get more states that way. We went through Dallas, we went through Mississippi, went through Alabama, we went through, anyway, I can't remember. Anyway, I have to make a list one day for the next video. Lawless, that's it, great movie, yeah, Lawless, that's a damn good film, that is. I like Tom Hardy, bloody good in that. Getting late, so signing off. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Greg. Very much appreciated. Ken, we call it, bye, Greg. Adam gets it done. Yeah, Lawless, that's it. That's a good film. That is a good film. That is a very good film. Enjoyed that immensely. Oh, I might log off soon because we're down to 19. But maybe, hey, quality over quantity. But the old, I get paranoid there that people are hanging on just because I don't stop talking. They want to go and do stuff. So then I think maybe I should go. But we'll keep going a little bit longer because I'm enjoying this. But don't feel obliged to stay on, chaps. If you think I've talked too much and you've got other stuff to do, by all means go. Yeah, so Adam gets it done. Going to have to sign off to Will. Getting late here. Well, there you go then. That was my sign to log off then, because people are going. Listen, chaps. Thanks, Ken and Robert, for the beers. Very, very much appreciated. Great job later, bro. Yeah, thanks for watching. I say it was impromptu. I will probably do this. I'll probably start doing this, you know, different times, because I never know when you're gonna. Because you get a different crowd this time of day than I do when I do my Tuesday nights. Ken McCullough, I'm going to cook roast lamb. Well, good for you, brother. I hope you enjoy the roast lamb. I have not had lamb for a long, long time. Cliff in the Philippines, do you go to Sideways daily? Catch up soon. No, not daily. Not daily. I go a couple of nights a week. Don't really go out during the days since there was a brown out. Yes, sir. Cheers. Yeah, cheers then, fellas. Thanks for joining. Very much appreciated. Thanks for the likes. We got up to 29, which is always good. If it breaks 30, it makes me happy. But we had a nice chat, a few beers. Thanks for watching. And remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, be lucky.